Hi everyone, I'm Connor Chessmore. I'm Mrs. Walter's student assistant, and I'm going to be walking you all through the solution to Chapter 4's case study. And you will need the completed files from Chapter 2's case study, so make sure you've got those before you start on this. And then you're going to copy the index and yurts HTML files into a new folder called CH4 Pacific. I've already moved these and created the new CSS file we need just to save time. And so yeah, let's just get started on this CSS. So you'll need to make a new file, like I said, and it'll just be empty. And we're going to start with making a body selector. So just as simple as this, some open curly braces. And we're going to give it a background color, and it's going to want us to do a white background. So we're going to use the hexadecimal values just because the verbal commands in CSS, such as white, red, orange, blue, they do exist, they do work, but some older browsers, or maybe someone's using some extensions that mess with it, it can make styling behave a little strangely, and it's just best to give it the explicit hexadecimal values to just kind of avoid that mess. So white is 6 Fs, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And we're not going to be able to check that one just because the default background color is white. So to make sure that our styles are applying, we're going to change the text now to dark gray, and just use color is all that it takes to do that. Hexadecimal again, and this is 6 sixes. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And we're going to save this. And right now it's not going to show anything. Let me Alt-Tab to that. And yeah, it's not going to refresh because we need to link the CSS file first. So we're going to go over to index.html, and we're going to start a link element up in the head. And to start with, we're going to rel style sheet, and type is not a required tag. It should work fine without it, but just as a best practice, it's good to put it up there to explicitly tell the browser what you're trying to do. It'll just help prevent any accidental includes, or maybe it'll just prevent the browser from getting confused, is the long and short of it. And the href is the name of your CSS file, so for us that'll be pacific.css. And we're going to close that and save it. Make sure you save after you make your changes, otherwise you're not going to have any changes to show. And there we go. So our styles are applying. We're good to go to move on to the next step, which is changing the color of the header element. So this will be our H1, and we're going to make it have a background color of let's see, 002171. So let me get that up here. #002171. And then we're going to give it a text color of white. This is just going to help it be a little more visible. And that's the all F's again. Save that, refresh, and there we go. Got a nice blue with a background there. And the next step, we're going to move on to the nav element. So just a couple extra lines down. Nav, not navy, nav. And this one is going to have a background color of sky blue. And that is going to be a hex value of BBDEFB. There we go. Apologies for that. And save it. Go back and refresh, make sure it's going, and there it goes. Applied all the way across. And so now, after that, is the H2 element. And this is going to have a medium blue on it for the text color, so just color. And this is the 1976D2. And refresh again. Awesome. Now we're going to go on to those DT elements for the questions and the answers for the yurts page. This shouldn't affect anything on index.html because there are none of those elements there, but this will affect specifically the yurts page. So we're going to give those a dark blue text color, so color again, and that hexadecimal value is the 002171 that we used earlier. Save, and I'll check the yurts page here, and that's not applying here yet because we need to link it there as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's copy this link element from index, and go over to yurts, paste it there, save our changes, refresh, and there we go. All of our DTs have the dark blue color. These have that sort of grayish color right now. I think that's going to get changed here in just a little bit, but it's looking good. So let's go on to the next bit here. And now we're going to create a class named a resort. And to make a class in CSS, you just start it with a dot and then the name of your class. And then we're going to configure anything with a resort class to have a medium blue text color. And that's just how we've been doing it before, just color, and now we're going to do 1976D2. Save, and nothing has that class right now, so there won't be any changes. And step 3, it asks to add the link in both of the pages, which we've already done. And now we need to go into where the company name is in the first paragraph below here. So right here, and we're going to add a span tag around the company name. We're going to add one down here as well. And with these spans, we're actually going to give it the class resort. So class equal double quote resort. And this is going to apply those CSS changes that we just made. So now if we save, and we refresh and go to home, you'll see, I forgot to close that. That was my mistake. There. So now just those specific bits of text have the special coloring because they are the only ones with that class on them. And now we're going to go back to here in this div with the contact info, and we're going to give it an ID. IDs are very useful. You can do a lot with them. When you start using a lot of divs, they become very important to keep track of where everything is. And we're going to give an ID of contact. And that's going to be used for a later case study, but just having it there is going to be very important. So let's save that one more time, make sure that's all set up. And so now we're going to move on to the yurts page. We've got a couple of changes to make there as well. And there's the link element in the head like we've already done, so that's good. Update the CSS one more time, because if you take a look on both of these pages, there's this white space. There's this empty area between the header and the nav bar, and that's not something that we want. We want those to be nice and close together. So we're going to go into our CSS, and we're going to go into our H1, and we're going to use a property called margin bottom. Normally the browser will automatically give all of your elements a preset margin, and the margin modifiers let you override them and help you kind of space your page out how you want. There's a lot of suffixes or ways that you can define the size. You can do pixels, for example. That's an absolute size. There's EM, there's REM, and I believe there's one more that I'm forgetting, but those aren't important right now. Right now we're just going to slap a big old 0 there. We don't need to add any of those other ones there. The browser will know what we're talking about. We'll save that, go back to this page, and that should, on refresh, get rid of that. So essentially all we did was we told the browser we don't want any margin underneath that header. We want everything to snug up right against it to get rid of that white space. And so that should also affect the yurts page as well. And there we go. And that should be it for Chapter 4's case study. If you have any questions, if you got stuck somewhere, feel free to email me at cdchessmore@mail.fhsu.edu, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. And I hope everyone here has a great day, and I hope you have a great time with this class moving forward.